We're on a suit affecting the parent relationship, Your Honor. We have some partial agreements between the parties. At this time, I would like to read those agreements into the record.
Okay.
Prior to doing so, sir, I'd like the court to take judicial notice that the father is present in the courtroom and has been emailed a copy of the state's petition.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. So parties are in agreement. Now, for there to be a geographic restriction. Wait, one moment, Your Honor. My apologies. Parties are in agreement for the father to be established. Parties are in agreement that the father signed the acknowledgement of paternity for the child in today's case. Parties are in agreement for the father to be established officially as the father of that child in today's case. Parties are in agreement for the mother to have a geographic restriction to Dallas and contiguous counties. Parties are in agreement that the child currently has government medical. Parties are in agreement that child support should be $311 per month starting August 1st, 2025, based on the father working and making $15 an hour, working 30 hours a week. Parties are in agreement that the father has no additional minor biological children. Parties are in agreement for an exchange location with visitation being the first, third, and fifth Saturday. Parties are in agreement for those visits to be supervised by the paternal grandmother from noon to 4. Parties are in agreement for the exchange location to be McDonald's located at 4440 Gus Thomason Road in Mesquite, Texas, 75150 for 1 year. And then after the supervised visits of a year with the grandmother, a standard possession order. Those are the extent of the agreements I have so far for the parties, Your Honor. The contested issues are family violence, conservatorship, the retro calculation, and the medical support. At this time, I'd like to call the parties and get into those issues, Your Honor. I'd like to call the mother first. Ma'am, can I get you to state your full name for the record?
Joy Ann Simon.
Thank you so much, Ms. Simon. Now, then can you give me the name and age of the child or children we're here for today?
Malachi James Lewis. He is 16 months old.
And who is the father of Malachi?
Daddy is Trent Lewis.
And when the Malachi was born, did Mr. Lewis sign the acknowledgement of paternity, legally designating him as the father of the child?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Now I want to move. Now, did you hear the agreed portions, like the initial parts that I read out that were agreed between you and Mr. Lewis? Are those still your agreements this morning?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking the court to accept those agreements?
Yes, please.
And do you believe those agreements are in the best interest of your child?
I do.
Okay, now let's move on to the contested or not agreed issues. First off, we're going to talk about family violence. It looks as though there may have been some allegations of family violence between yourself and Mr. Lewis. Is that correct?
Yes.
When was the last incident between yourself and Mr. Lewis?
It was when he moved out of where I'm with my cousin where we were staying. He went to work drunk or on something, and he was very violent towards me and he was violent towards my family who has opened their doors to us. And I don't feel necessarily safe because I know when he has stuff in his system, he can be very violent.
Ma'am, the question was when, and you never answered when, but you answered the when.
It was a few months ago. It was when Kai was about 5 months old.
When was that? About what month and year is what I'm trying to, not to be exact, but approximately?
About, I want to say 11 months ago.
Okay, so 11 months ago is when this incident occurred?
Yes.
Okay, now when you say he was violent with yourself, I know you say he was violent with your family and everything, but I'm specifically inquiring about violence between himself against you or the child. Was there any violence directed from Mr. Lewis to yourself or the child at that last incident?
At the last incident, it was more like verbal. There was incidences prior. I couldn't really give you a time or a month on that, but where I try to help him and he raises a hand or he's throwing stuff, it's just scary.
I want to talk about the last time because we're still on that. There was no physical violence, is that correct?
Not necessarily physical towards me now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were the authorities contacted?
No.
Were there any injuries?
No.
Was he arrested?
No.
Did you get a protective order?
I did not. I didn't want one.
Okay, understood. But your request today is that the judge make a finding of family violence between yourself and the father. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you do understand if the father makes a finding of family violence that the conservatorship will not be joint managing, but a sole managing conservatorship. Are you requesting a sole managing conservatorship in addition to that finding of family violence this morning?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And based on the time period, it looks as though you and the father did not, over the past 4 years, have you and the father lived together?
Yes, sir.
Would you say that over the course of the past 14 months, the two of you did not live together?
The past how many months?
14 months. So a year and 2 months.
Yes, we did not
Okay.
live together.
So we calculated the retro judgment based on that information. The amount we calculated for that time period is $4,354, and we're going to ask the father to pay that back at $60 a month beginning August 1st, 2025. Would you be in agreement to that?
Yes, sir.
And how's the child currently covered under health insurance?
Through Medicaid.
Okay, we said that was an agreement, but I just wanted to confirm it. Based on that information and the father's income, the state is requesting that medical support be set at $175 per month beginning August 1st, 2025. Would you be in agreement to that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. That was the extent of the questions I have for you at this time. Is there anything else you would like to tell the court about your case, Ms. Simon?
About him, or like why I want this full custody, because that's really all I wanted to talk about.
Okay, hold on. This No, ma'am. I'm specifically talking about your case specifically.
No.
You don't have to say anything. I'm just giving you the opportunity in case I didn't add something you want to tell the judge something. You have nothing else to add?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is that a no?
Yes and no.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to pass this witness and call the father. Mr. Lewis, can I get you to state your full name for the record?
That is Trent Lewis.
Move your
Thank
hair,
you so-
Mr. Lewis. I cannot see you.
Mr. Lewis, did you hear those agreements I previously read out into the record?
Yes, sir.
Now, just with those portions that you've already agreed to, are those still your agreements this morning?
No, sir.
Which portion of the agreed portions are no longer agreed by you?
The one is the location of pickup for from his grandmother and her.
Okay, aside from the pickup, is there anything else you disagree with? That I initially said were agreed. Aside from that exchange location, did you agree to everything else that I said initially?
Do you mind repeating it just real quick so I can
Not at all.
refresh it?
Can you fix your hair again, Mr. Lewis? I don't understand why you can't get it. I cannot see your face. You put the ponytail in front of your face. I cannot see you.
Look, I didn't put it in front of my face.
It's blocking your face. I can't even see you have glasses when it's like that.
All right. Well, I tried my best to put it to the side.
Okay, thank you.
I'm doing everything I can.
Okay.
So as far as the agreements that we read out previously, I'll start from the top. Parties are in agreement for there to be a geographic restriction to Dallas and contiguous county, meaning the mother will keep the child in Dallas or a county that touches Dallas. Parties are in agreement that the child has government medical. Parties are in agreement that child support should be set at $311 a month based on the father's income of $15 an hour, working 30 hours a week. Parties are in agreement you have no additional minor biological children that you care for. The next portion I read was the visitation, but you've already said you don't agree with that. So the parts that I said you agreed to, those first three parts, do you still agree to those portions?
The first one, no, just because I think someone got my pay wrong. I'm not
Hold on, Mr.
Yeah.
Lewis. You're going out of order. The first thing I said was that y'all agreed to a geographic restriction to Dallas and contiguous counties. Do you still agree to that?
Oh, okay. Yes.
And the second thing I said was that the two of you agreed the child currently has government medical coverage. You still agree to that?
Yes.
Now, your biggest in the income and the child support, did you disagree with those numbers?
Yes. Only because I think my pay was miscalculated by someone. I make 13 an hour, not 15 as of right now.
Okay. Moment, Your Honor.
Just move forward, Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. So okay. So those were the disagreements disagree with the visitation. I understand that. So where would you propose the exchange location happen?
Um, my mother asked for a change location at a police station in Plano.
You understand that at a police station, the police are not there to watch the parking lot. They're not gonna intervene if something happens. Do you have a more public place that you would like to offer to the court?
Um, no, I understand. That it's I understand the rest of the spot and everything. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
But Mr. Lewis, what I'm saying is the court most likely won't agree to what you're recommending, so I'm asking you for a second recommendation, a more
a
public.
second recommendation. Um, just Plano, I guess.
Where do you live currently, Mr. Lewis?
I stay in Little Elm, Texas, Aubrey, Texas.
Now you do understand that since you live where you live and the mother lives where she lives, you're responsible for getting to the location. Like the mother doesn't have to come to Plano to make it easier for you. You understand that, Mr. Lewis?
Right.
Okay, now let's move on to the other non-agreed portions. Let's talk about the family violence. The mother says that there was some violence between yourself and her within the past few months. Do you agree or disagree with the allegations of family violence?
I disagree with that.
Could you explain to me what happened at the last incident between yourself and the mother?
The one that was documented just now that we were talking about, or that y'all were talking about.
The previous testimony, yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was just verbally frustrated that day, I guess, and so I was just being very verbal with my communication and everything, the way I was speaking. But not once did I really put my hands on anybody and become physical or anything. The most physical I became were like threats and like throwing my shoes at someone, but not directly at them.
Okay, when you say you threw a shoe at somebody, did you throw a shoe at Miss Simon?
No.
Did you throw it at the child?
No.
So you were just mostly verbally aggressive that day, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you had any occasions where you were physically aggressive with the mother?
No.
Okay, moving on to conservatorship. The mother, if the judge makes a finding of family violence, it'll be a sole managing conservatorship, but you're seeking a joint managing conservatorship. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Even though you and the mother have had that tumultuous history, you believe you and her can make decisions together to co-parent the child?
Yes, sir.
You believe a joint managing conservatorship is in the best interest, even though you and the mother can't communicate?
Yes, sir.
All right. Moving on to the retroactive judgment, the state is requesting a retroactive judgment of $4,354 to be paid at $60 a month until paid in full. Do you agree with that, sir?
Yes.
So you do agree to the retro calculation, is that correct?
Well, no, I don't.
Did you explain to the court why you don't disagree with the retro calculation?
Yeah, because I just believe it was miscalculated. Like I said, I'm not making as much as you had said earlier. And okay. I had just started my job as well, but I mean, I don't feel like that has anything to do with anything, but
okay, moving on. The state is requesting that medical support be set at $175 per month. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree.
Could you explain to the court why you disagree with that? Because the cost of the medical is what you're reimbursing the state for the government medical the child has. This doesn't go to the mother. This goes back to the state of Texas. Does that change whether or not you agree?
No, I agree.
So you do agree to the medical support. Okay. Those are the extent of my questions for you, Mr. Lewis. I believe we've covered everything. I'd like to pass this witness at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Williams, what was the original exchange location?
The original exchange location was the McDonald's at 4440 Gus Thomason Road in Mesquite, Texas. Okay. And it was supposed to be supervised for 1 year and then move into state.
I got the rest. I didn't know that. Remember what the location was. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're neither one of y'all have private insurance available to you at a reasonable cost. So mother's going to apply for government medical for health insurance. Child support's $311. We're doing the exchange at the McDonald's. Ms. Simon does not have the responsibility to bring you the child, Mr. Lewis. If you moved far away, then you need to move closer. if you want to make it closer for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to make an effort to do your visitation. You're going to have to go to the McDonald's that we talked about in Mesquite to do the exchanges. If you don't show up, then you don't do your visitation. She doesn't have responsibility to come to you. If you're interested in your child, then you need to go to that location.
All right.
We're
It's
going to do
just
first, third, and
not
fifth
bad.
Saturdays with the supervised visits with paternal grandmother to do the supervision for a year, and then the standard visitation. So that's what y'all had her, what kind of originally kind of talked about. So I'm just leaving that. That sounds good, especially since the child is young. It is not normal to throw stuff, even if you don't, even if you throw it at the wall. People throw stuff because they act like they're either they're kids, and I don't think you're a kid, Mr. Lewis, or to scare somebody. It's not normal to be throwing stuff. So that's enough by itself for me to make a finding there's been family violence. You did that to scare Miss Simon. And that's called family violence. You cannot do that. You need to control yourself and act like an adult, act like a parent. You cannot do those kinds of things in the future. So I'm making a finding that there's been family violence. Appointing Miss Simon as a sole managing conservator. The medical support, I'm going to change it and lower it to 120 per month instead of the 175. The child support is correct. It should be 311. I'm not changing that number. And then the retroactive judgment is $4,354 that you owe for the past. And obviously you didn't pay any money to Miss Simon, I guess is what that number is. And I'm going to lower the payment to $50 a month instead of $60. But you can always pay more if you want on that. Court cost bill to Mr. Lewis. The Attorney General's office will put that all in writing. Y'all both need to read the order. If you have questions, always read the order first. That'll probably answer your questions. So you should get that in the next few days. Y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
I actually have a question, sir.
Quick question, sir.
So for that part where you said that there was violence and everything.
Yep,
So
I already made a ruling on that.
right, but the violence that was being ruled out, or not ruled out, but
Is there going to be a question, or are you just going to tell me you don't agree with my ruling?
no, I'm just saying what was being presented, like the violence, it wasn't even between me and her. So I don't understand how that becomes a case between, us two, if the violence wasn't between the two of us.
Where's the question?
What I'm asking is, how does she get sole conservatorship if there was no violence between the two of us, is what I'm
Did you not
asking.
hear my explanation that I gave earlier?
Right. You just saying I threw the shoe to scare her, but the shoe was never thrown at her or in her general direction. And the altercation was never even between me and Joy in the first place. It
Do you
was
think it's
between me and
normal
her
to throw
cousin.
stuff at walls and stuff? Do you think that's normal?
So I threw it in the air out of frustration.
Do you think it's
To
normal
kind
is my
of,
question.
do I think it's normal? Out of frustration, anything can be normal for anybody out of frustration.
No,
Such as throwing
no.
shoes.
A
Throwing
reasonable
shoes
person
is
would
the
believe that
least.
throwing a shoe at a wall is not normal.
Throwing shoes is the least non-normal thing like that I could think of doing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I disagree with you, and so would anybody
Non-violent.
else, Mr. Lewis. Everybody would disagree with you. Throwing a shoe out of frustration in somebody's direction or not in somebody's direction, but doing it out of frustration is not normal. That's what a kid does. I'm assuming
Okay.
you're over 18, you're not a kid. Kids might throw stuff, throw tantrums, but adults don't. So
Okay.
that's not normal behavior. I'm telling you, that's not normal behavior. Even if you
I
have a
think
kid
you've
that's
just been
different,
inside too long
it is
then,
not
Judge.
normal. It's not normal. Talk to your mom. I bet you she'll tell you that's not normal. Okay. All right, then. Y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.